I think Aaron Judge will be the best right-handed hitter of all time if we win the World Series this year.
I think Jalen Brunson is definitely our highest performer in, like close games in the last minute.
I think he's good, but I don't think he played his best.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Hello, welcome back to our show ESN. We'll still be talking about the Giants, Knicks, Penn State football, and Yankees. We'll be talking about the Giants' recent game against the Lions. How do you think their offense would do without Dart?
Obviously in that game they did all right. Like, they had a lot of good plays, but Jameis Winston out there was commanding the field, as Jackson Dart was doing. So what did you think about that?
Yeah, I think he was doing pretty great, throwing deep balls and everything, just passing good football. What about the offense, like Wandale?
Oh, Wandale was going off that game. I mean, he had a great game, over 100 yards receiving a touchdown. That was probably his best game of the year. And Winston also having a really good game with having over 300 passing yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He had 1 receiving touchdown, which was really good. I was surprised by that play and how it worked out. What did you think about the offense?
Yeah, once I saw Winston catch that ball and he was going towards the sideline, I did not expect him to make that much of an athletic play. And Wandale going over 100 yards, like you said, pretty impressive. What about Gibbs' historic game, rushing the ball?
Gibbs' historic game, that was a really good game for Gibbs. I mean, even though he's not a Giants player, I wanted to call him out and say how good he was. He had I think he had 300 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. That's actually a really good game as a running back. What do you think about Gibbs?
I thought it was pretty good about rushing a 300-yard game. Probably, I think it's best of his career, I think. What about firing Sean Bowen?
Yeah. I mean, Shane Bowen gone now. He wasn't that good. He had a 5-24 record. If we hired him last year, he didn't do that great of a job, even though everyone hyped him up and everything. He left pages people downfield open that causes us games. We have 5 fourth quarter losses because of him. A lot of players, not doing what they're supposed to be doing or the right play calls. What did you think about Shane Bowen getting fired?
I think it was coming to him, like you said, a 5-24 record, and the 5 fourth quarter blows. Those are 5 more wins we could have had to our record, but instead they blew it because of his coaching. The golf performance, how do you think?
I mean, he was all right. He didn't do the best as he does in the season, but he did his average himself, passing the ball greatly and throwing touchdowns. And Winston also having a really good game as well, as we talked before. I mean, I was surprised how he came off. That's his second start from coming from the Green Bay game. I think he did a really good job out there. What do you think?
Yeah, coming off the bench, not playing much this season other than preseason. He really stepped up, and think the Giants have a reliable backup if Dart gets hurt again. So up next, Darin and Lucas will be talking about the New York Knicks and their start of the season.
Hello, welcome back to our show ESN. Today we'll be talking about the New York Knicks 25-26 season preview. First up, let's look at the team's core players in defense. Brunson, Bridges, Towns, those I'd say the big 3. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Brunson being the captain of this team, really good offensively. Okay on both parts of the floor. And then you have Mikal Bridges, too, who's really good defensively and also really good offensively, too. Just really good two-way player. And then Karl Anthony Towns, really strong on the offensive glass, really good at getting rebounds. And then also underrated part of his game is probably his three-point shooting, because I've seen him hit a lot of threes, and that's really good for a center.
Yeah, on the defensive end, OG, I mean, he's not as core, I'd say. Hart's more of a core player on the defensive end. Towns, obviously, he's a big help in the paint. We know that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Towns being good in the paint, just a big body, 7 feet tall. That's good to have. And then also with Hart too, part of the Nova Nick connection. Really good defensively, and also just a fast-paced player.
Yeah. Off-season moves. Shamit was re-signed. That's big. I mean, he's not going to get as many minutes, but he's definitely key. Matthews on training camp deal. He has great 3-point shooting when they bring him in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of all these guys before. Shamit last year in the playoffs, coming off the bench with DeLon Wright. I really like that pairing. And then also Matthews, you can never have too much depth, and having him there, just coming off the bench, I mean, just sinking a few threes is big because just get you more points.
Yeah, Diawara, good draft pick for them. He's a center with good defense, very athletic also. Definitely going to bring this team good energy on both ends. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, when they drafted him in the second round, I mean, I didn't really know much about him, but just getting to see him shoot around more, it's just really good. Really fast-paced player, like you said, and really young too. And also he's cheap. And with the Knicks like salary cap situation with a lot of guys on big-time contracts, you're going to have to re-sign Brunson soon. So just having cheap talent, that's just going to be helpful.
Yeah, obviously after a disaster of last season, we have Mike Brown. What do you think of this new team, this new lineup?
I mean, they're obviously going to have a lot more juice because there's a new voice in the room, which should be good for them. And then also, like, he's going to play fast-paced, really good transition ball, which they had a lot of issues with last year in the playoffs, especially against a fast-paced Pacer team.
Yeah, another offseason move. They brought in Billy Lang. I mean, what do you think of definitely a new guy. What do you think he's going to bring to the locker room?
You can never have too much help with the team. I mean, the more help you have, the better shot you have at winning a championship. And I think that's what the main goal this year is. They're going to be a playoff team, which I think everybody knows. But the question is, will they be able to get over the hump and make it to the finals? And with just a new coaching staff, I think they can do it.
A key extension, Bridges, 4-year, $150 million deal. I mean, that's big for the Knicks. What do you? I mean, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I like that signing because it's just cheap. He took a pay cut. He probably could have gotten a lot more. So that's just good to get done.
Definitely, very good. Dennis Smith Jr., Alex Len, Trey Jemison on non-guaranteed deals. Just to see how they do. What do you think about that?
It's always important to have some competition for the guys because these guys are going to come in here. They're going to fight hard because they're fighting for a job. So that's just good to have.
Yeah, obviously, Knicks are looking like obvious title contenders. Looking for obviously a deeper playoff run than last year. Trying to maybe get the job done. What do you think about that?
I mean, last year it was a really good start. I mean, they just got tired because they didn't use the bench last year, and then now they should just be rolling through teams because a lot of injuries teams have to deal with now. And I feel like the Knicks are the only team that really have the same core coming back, but also adding on really strong bench pieces like Gershon Yabusele and Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, definitely two big players. What do you think the Knicks' biggest challenge in this postseason run this year is going to be?
I mean, it's really going to be hard to tell. It's so early in the season still, but if I had to guess, I'd probably say like Orlando, Cleveland. I'm not worried about Indiana or Boston because they're just injured. But also, you have to look at it as it's just the start now. They could be in a playoff spot next year. You just got to be ready for anybody.
Up next, we'll be swinging to Darin and Jake talking about the Yankees.
Welcome back to ESN. Today, me and Jake will be talking about the New York Yankees free agency and possible future contracts. So let's talk about the Trent Grisham contract. Signed a 1-year, $20 million contract.
I think that was an extreme overpay for Trent Grisham. He's not very good. He was good this year, but in the past he hasn't. I don't understand why they offered him the qualifying deal. Like, they didn't think he was going to accept it. Of course he's going to accept that. That's a lot of money. He wasn't even projected to get close to that before the season. Sees that contract, he's immediately going to take it, and that really just handicaps the rest of this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, when you looked at his stats this year, I mean, he had a really good season offensively. He had 30 home runs, if I'm right. But, I mean, he's not a $20 million player. There's a lot better players out there that they could get for that money. Like maybe a quality bullpen arm.
I mean, Trent Grisham, he batted, like 235, which isn't that good. He used to be really good at defense, and this year he wasn't, like, bad, but he wasn't that good either. So I really think it was just not a great signing at all. And, like, now that's going to hurt their chance of getting Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger, which are much better players overall for their team.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think this contract was more of like a panic, probably because they didn't want to lose him, because I think they think that his defense is really good. But, I mean, in the past years it has been, so we'll see how it goes this year. Maybe he'll have the same season, but I don't really think he's going to have the same season. He's just going to probably decline.
Yeah, I don't see him doing much better. Only way I could see him is going worse. And really, it just was, I think, just a very, like, bad move by Cashman. He just kind of overlooked that he was going to actually accept it, and then he did. I don't think he thought he was going to accept it, and now look at this. Now you have a bad contract already.
Yeah, so now let's talk about some potential free agents they could bring in. I mean, the marquee guy on this list is Kyle Tucker. What do you think about that?
Kyle Tucker, he's obviously an elite player. He was very good in Chicago this year. He's probably like the best player they could really go out there this free agency and get. He's a real superstar. He hits for great power, plays pretty good defense. He's a nice left-handed bat. I think he's better than Cody Bellinger, but with that, he's a lot more expensive. So I don't know how I feel about signing him. Would be obviously a good signing, but I don't know if it would actually end up happening.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. He's a really good player, and a lefty hitter. That swing in Yankee Stadium would be pretty good, but also Cody Bellinger's going to be cheaper, and he has a really good left-handed bat. So it's just pretty much what money will look like.
Let's send it over to the pit to see what they think about Kyle Tucker.
Well, personally, I agree with you guys with all that. I do want Kyle Tucker on this team. He's a really good player, but he is also very expensive. Jack, what do you think about Kyle Tucker?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. I think we definitely should sign Kyle Tucker. He definitely would help the team a lot. Thanks, guys. Send it back up to you.
Obviously, they think very similar to us. Kyle Tucker is a good player, but they don't know if they can actually afford to sign him at this point. So there could be a better option here in Cody Bellinger, who was on the team last year. He was a very good player. He was almost an all-star. He was snubbed, but he was very good. He's a great player. I think they could maybe get him as a cheaper deal, but there's a lot of teams also interested in him.
Yeah, so now another player we had on our list was Alex Bregman. I really don't think he's going to come to the Yankees in free agency. Last year we had a shot at him. I thought we could have gotten him, but he went to Boston. But he had a really good season in Boston. He was an all-star, so I really could just see him staying in Boston.
Obviously, I'd like Bregman, but it's very unrealistic, especially since we traded for Ryan McMahon at the deadline last year. Really isn't much of an option at all. Maybe Bo Bichette could be more of an option. I know you're high on him. What do you think?
I mean, Bo Bichette, he's been a Yankee killer his whole career, so it would be nice really to get him. But after the season the Blue Jays had, I really could see him staying in Toronto and just staying with Vladdy. I know him and Vladdy are great friends, but getting a guy like him would help defensively, because he would take over for Volpe, and Volpe had a really bad defensive season. He was like top 5 in the league in errors.
Yeah, Volpe's just not good. But let's think of the pitching side now, since they obviously won't have Garrett Cole to start the season. Carlos Rodon's hurt, and he won't start the season. What about Tetsuya Amamumi? He's a Japanese pitcher from Japan. He's really good. He's not so expensive. What do you think of him?
I mean, over the years, you see like these foreign pitchers coming in here, like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, even Otani. I mean, they've been really good pitchers, and in Japan, it's like you're getting bred to almost play in the MLB. So I like pitchers from Japan, and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely think he could be good. He's not a super expensive option. He already said he doesn't want to be a Dodger because he wants to beat them, which is, I think, a good sign for the Yankees to actually be able to go get him. Could be an interesting signing. I think there's better options, but I don't know. What do you think of a reunion between him and Michael King and the Yankees? What do you think?
I mean, Michael King's a really good pitcher. He's been an all-star. He was really good for us when he pitched out of our bullpen. But, I mean, we also traded him for a really good player for one season. But I would love to get him back.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll actually get him, but he's pretty good. And then Ryan Hesley, a decent bullpen piece here that we can maybe get. He obviously struggled. I think he struggled with the Mets pretty badly after being traded from St. Louis. Maybe he needs a fresh start here. obviously Devin Williams did as he signed in the Mets. But I don't know. What do you think?
So, like Devin Williams, he had a lot of problems pitching in New York, and same as Helsley. I don't want a pitcher that can't pitch in New York. You look at past pitchers like a J.A. Happ, James Paxton, Sonny Gray even. They just couldn't put it together in New York. It's just, I don't know what it is, maybe the pressure. But I don't want to spend a lot of money on a pitcher that's going to be terrible and not live up to their full potential of their contract.
Yeah, let's look at some trade possibilities the Yankees can make. What do you think of Stephen Kwan, a really good leadoff hitter for Cleveland last year? He's been there for a few years. We've talked about him like a few times in the past. Like he could be a potential guy. I think he would be really good as a leadoff hitter. But what do you think?
I mean, yeah, really, the Yankees over the past few seasons really haven't had a true leadoff guy. I think the last true leadoff guy we had was probably Brett Gardner. And if we get Kwan, he's going to bring a lot of speed and really good defense, too, and also contact. And we need contact guys. We have the home run hitters, and he's going to help bring down our strikeout numbers.
Yeah, I mean, for years it's just been all power. So having him would be a nice change in the lineup. But, I mean, I think the main guy we'd all love to see for the Yankees is Tariq Skubal. Two-time Cy Young winner for the Tigers. They can't pay him, the Tigers, so he could come over to the Yankees. We could re-sign him for years. He would really be an ace. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you hear the name Skubal, you think of a great pitcher. And him in New York, that would be just great. You pair him up with Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and like Cam Schlittler. I think that's a really good rotation there in general.
Yeah, you've got to hope they're going to make that trade, but a lesser piece here, but still a really good pitcher, is Joe Ryan. I watched him pitch against the Yankees when he was on the Twins this year, and I was really seriously impressed with what he did. So I think he could be a really good option if Tariq Skubal, his price to trade him is way too high. So what do you think of Joe Ryan?
Minnesota is a rebuilding team, going to be a rebuilding team. I think they got rid of a lot of key players, and talking about Joe Ryan, he's a really good pitcher. We actually looked to get him at the deadline, and I thought we should have probably got him at the deadline. Other than that, he's a really good pitcher. He's been an ace on that staff for the past few seasons, and I think it was an all-star.
I think he was. And then what about Trevor McGill? He's an all-star closer. He could be really someone they need since obviously Devin Williams is left and he wasn't very good for the Yankees. They had bullpen problems all year. He could be an interesting signing, but I'm not sure how I really feel about him. I don't think he would really change much of the team. Let's look at some potential trade chips we have. Jazz Chisholm, a great second baseman. What do you think if he got traded?
I mean, he was honestly one of my favorite players last season. I think he's really electric when he's on the field. I mean, just a really good player. Another player, I could see them maybe looking to trade Spencer Jones. He's a 25-year-old prospect. Why don't waste talent? Try and trade him to get like an MLB star, because I know teams would want a prospect like him.
I fully agree. I feel like at this point they're kind of just wasting Spencer Jones in the minor leagues. He's not really doing anything in there, so might as well get him for some value. I hope they trade him. I don't know if they actually will. Another player I could see them trading for similar reasons is Jason Dominguez. He's had some MLB time. He hasn't been bad, but I think he needs to get traded and sent somewhere new. He really just, I don't know, I just don't think he likes New York, and he still has value, so I don't want him to lose it because he won't start probably next year, especially if they sign Cody or Kyle Tucker. So I think trading him could be a nice piece in one of those trades for like Joe Ryan or Stephen Kwan that we could potentially say.
Yeah, I mean, Jake said it. I totally agree with that. But you got to give him time to develop, and you have to start him. You have to give him a lot of time. You can't just start him, then bench him. You have to give him time.
And the Yankees just won't give him that time, so at this point, you might as well get rid of him.
Yeah, the Yankees aren't a rebuilding team. They're a team that's in win-now mode and going to compete every season for a World Series. So I see why trading would be good, but if you trade him, you run the risk that he's going to become a star player somewhere else.
I took at some rival teams have already made some pretty big moves. Let's look at especially the biggest move of the offseason so far. Dylan Cease agreed to a 7-year, $210 million to the Toronto Blue Jays, a team that just was 2 outs away from winning the World Series last year, and now they just got one of the best pitchers in baseball. That could be a big thing, especially with the Yankees being rivals with them in the division.
I honestly think Dylan Cease is not worth over $200 million. He had an over 3 ERA last season. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I feel like he's okay. I don't think he's the best out there. So I think it's an okay signing. I wouldn't have wanted to pay $210 for him. I think at max I would have paid $190. But it makes the Toronto Blue Jays much better, and that hurts the Yankees. Another pitcher that got signed away from the Yankees was Devin Williams for 3 years, $50 million. What do you think of that?
I mean, Devin Williams was not a good player with us. He was really bad. Even I saw it in his first appearance out of the bullpen opening day against the Brewers. Very shaky. It was a very shaky outing, in my opinion. And also just through the season, he's just blown leads and just blown a lot of leads. It's really bad.
Yeah, Devin Williams is not the best, so I think let them have him, not us. $50 million for him is, I think, an insane amount. I would have never done that. And one of the options that we discussed about for them to sign, I actually already did sign with the Baltimore Orioles. Ryan Hesley did sign for 2 years, $28 million. I would have rather done that deal than the Devin Williams deal. I think Baltimore did a good job there. But I think I did think they overpaid a little bit. But
Yeah.
what do you think?
I mean, giving it to Baltimore, they're really good about getting really good contracts, cheap deals, actually. Like, one of them was like Tyler O'Neill, and a 2-year, $28 million contract for Helsley. That's really good.
All right, thank you for listening. Next up, after this, we'll be talking about Penn State as they wrap up their 2025 season.
Welcome back to ESN. I'm Jack Romalin, and this is Chris Jordan. Today we'll be talking about the last 2 weeks of Penn State football and how they did. So, the Penn State versus Michigan game, Penn State beat them by 18 points. I think it was 28-10. That was their first win since week 3. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was their first win since September. I think they did really good in that game. They blew them out too. Like, it was not close. I think in the beginning of the game it was close, and they ran away with it. Their new coach is kind of like running up to the team. He's kind of bringing them together after they fired their head coach. And I think that he was put in like a hard situation after playing Indiana, Ohio State, but they came back and they bounced back and they won.
Yeah, and then when they played Nebraska, they beat them by even more. I think they beat them by 27. I think it was 37-10, and that was their second win in a row after their 6-game losing streak.
Yeah. They kind of snapped it. Now they have one game away from winning streak, and they eventually did do that as they played Rutgers this weekend, and they beat them 40-36. It was a really close game. It was a pretty good game. And the winner of that game would go to a bowl game, and they won to make it. So,
yeah, and then they recently played Rutgers, and it was a close game throughout, but they came with it, and they won 40-36, and that was actually their 18th straight win against Rutgers in a row.
it's a lot. So, let's go back to the Michigan State game. Ethan Grunkemeyer had 8 for 13 passing, 61%, 127 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Do you think he contributed to the game?
I think with those 2 touchdowns he did, but I don't think that 127 passing yards is going to cut it for like the rest of the season.
Yeah. I also think Katron Allen is a running back. He had 181 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. I think that like in all these games that they've won previously, he has been their best player throughout the season. He really helped them win the game.
Yeah, he really contributed a lot. They really relied on him this week with 25 carries.
Yeah, and again, the defense did really good this game because the only touchdown for Michigan was a 57-yard rush, which they shouldn't have let that up, but still they held them.
Yeah, it was a one-score game until the fourth quarter.
And they ran away with it, but it went to defense. They did let up 229 yards, so I don't know, but if they were really good, but they didn't. They held them to only 10 points.
Yeah, let's go more in depth about the Nebraska game too. Ethan Grunkemeyer went 11 for 12 with 91% completion rate, 181 passing yards and 1 touchdown. I think he had a great performance. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. 181 passing yards and a touchdown isn't like NFL caliber for college. So it's all right. And then Katron Allen also had an amazing game, having 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think that could have been one of his greatest performances this year after the slow start. But he's kind of picking this team up and kind of putting them on his back.
Yeah, he's really helping the team a lot. Like the last game, the Michigan game, he really carried them. And this game, he did really, really well. And I know they're like Katron Allen is a really good player, but I think they should start relying on the passing game more.
I don't know about relying, but they definitely need to step that up. Their passing game has been not the greatest. I think that they could do better there. And I think it's also the quarterback. They had one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He got injured, and now they're with a backup, and it's kind of hard to use the backup as good as the starter was. But yeah, they're doing an all right job.
Yeah, and then Dominic DeLuca as a linebacker with 10 total tackles and 5 solo. I think he did pretty good. He definitely did the best on the defense.
All right, Jack, you think they should hire Terry Smith?
Yeah, I actually do think they should hire Terry Smith because he's been helping him a lot recently.
Yeah, I think he did good. He helped him a lot. I don't know if they should hire him. Maybe they should look for someone else, but I think they should definitely keep him around.
And then the Rutgers game they recently played, 46-36 Penn State. It was close throughout the game. I think it was only a one-score game, like the entire game.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Ethan Grinkmeyer had a really great game. Won 17 for 21, 209 yards and a touchdown. And this time, we're not talking about K-Tron on the rush, but Nicholas Singleton, he had 9 carries and 86 yards for 2 touchdowns. I think this running game is amazing, and the passing game picked up this game, which I thought won them the game. And the defense has to do better.
Yeah, Nicholas Singleton didn't get a lot of carries, but he made those carries count with 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, with 9 carries, I think that's very, very good.
Yeah, so they ended the season, regular season 6-6, which means they did get a bowl game. So we'll see what the committee assigns them to. And that was the end of the regular season. So do you think that they'll do good in the bowl game?
Depends on who they play in the bowl game. If they get like if they keep doing what they're doing the past 3 games, I definitely think they'll win. But if they fold under pressure and they let the other team have a hope, I think they'll lose.
Yeah, and also to talk about next season, they had 17 decommits. Most notably is Mosiah Mickens, the number running back, and Troy Hune, quarterback. Do you think that they can get these players back next year, or you think they're gone?
Yeah, I think they could get them back if next year they really start doing well, because they definitely decommitted because they saw that Penn State wasn't what they thought it would be. But if Penn State really locks in, I think they'll recommit.
I think most of them are also traveling with James Franklin to the other place. Well, thanks for watching our third episode of ESN. Today we talked about the Yankees, Knicks, Giants, and Penn State football. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.